Another important question we are going to analyze is the effect of average income level on the demanded quantity. Now we need to distinguish between two type of goods or service: normal goods and inferior goods. In the case of normal goods, what is observed is that an increase in the income level should lead to an increase of the demanded quantity. In the case of inferior good, if we have an increase in the average income level, we can observe a reduction in the demanded quantity. Most of goods can be considered normal, but there are goods that are inferior. We can consider also the demand for beans. If we have an increase in income, maybe that there is a substitution in the consumption of beans with the consumption of meat, and this is a case of inferior goods. Now, what normally happen is that some goods is is normal if we consider a certain interval of income, and it can be considered as inferior for higher level of income. Now we need to introduce the topic of Engel curve, which is the relation between the demanded quantity and the income. In the case of um, normal goods, we can draw this picture. In this picture, we have the relation between income and again the demanded quantity. For normal goods, this relation is a growing relation, a relation of this type, which means that if we have an increase in income from this level to this level, for example, we have also an increase in the demanded quantity. For instance, so if we have an increase in income, here we can observe also an increase in the demanded quantity, and this is the normal case. In the case of inferior goods, like the case of beans, if we have an increase in the income level, this should lead to a decrease in the demanded quantity. So if we put again here income on the vertical axis and the demanded quantity on the horizontal axis, in this case the Engel curve, angle, these are Engel curves, can be drawn in this way. So it's a decreasing function, which means that if we have a decrease or an increase in the level of income from this level to this level, here we have the zero level of income, what we can observe is that the demanded quantity, for instance for beans, from this level reduces to this level. So we have an increase in the level of income and a decrease in the level of the demanded quantity for this inferior good. So in this case we have normal goods, and this inferior. What normally applied is that the Engel curve can be drawn can be drawn in this way. Is income, so average level of income in for consumer, and the demanded quantity. The Engel curve will be a picture like this. What does it mean? It means that if we consider level of income smaller than this level that we can call smaller than this level, so starting from 0 until this level, in this case this can be considered as a normal good, because in this interval, if we have increase in the level of income, we have also an increase in the demanded quantity. But starting from this level of income, if we have an increase, further increases in income, we can consider this good as inferior, because we can observe a reduction in consumption. Because as we can see here, we have a turning point in the Engel curve. So normally, what we can see is that in a certain interval, a specified interval of income, we have that a good is a normal good. But if we consider an higher level of income, an higher interval of income, so in this case this interval, the same good becomes an inferior good, because given the Engel curve, we can see that an increase in income leads to a decrease in the demand quantity. Now, considering normal good, so which is the case in which an increase in income leads to an increase in the demanded quantity, and a decrease in income leads to a decrease in the demanded quantity. So, in the demand picture or demand relation between the price and the demanded quantity, what is the effect of an increase in income? In the case of normal goods, this is the effect of an increase in the average level of income is a shift on the right of the demand. Okay. Because for each level of price for this normal good, for instance, again the demand for coffee, we have a higher level of the demand given to the increase in income. And if we want to consider the effect of a reduction in the average level of income on the demand of a normal good, this is the demand relation, what is the effect of a reduction in income? It is a shift on the left, because for each level of price now we can see a reduced level of the demand for this good, because we have a lower level of income. So this picture corresponds to the case of, the first picture is the case of an increase in income. The second case is a reduction in the level of income. Now, if we consider a normal good, we will consider other factors affecting the demand curve of a given good. For instance, change the change in tastes. For instance, if this can lead to a reduction or an increase in the demand for some some goods. Interesting point is the effect of the expectation of price of a given good. Good. If, for instance, we can see a certain good, the following demand as a negative slope is a decreasing relation. Uh, the effect, if there is the expectation that in future the level of this price of this good, for instance, we can consider many goods with the variation in price in time. So if we have the expectation that the pricing of the goods in future will increase, this can lead to an increase of the demand today for these goods. This means that we can observe a shift on the right of this demand curve. At the same time, if we observe this the demand relation between price and quantity, if there is the expectation that in future the price of these goods will go down, in this case today we can observe a reduction in the quantity, in the demanded quantity, which means a shift on the left of this function. In general, all factors affecting demand can, other than the price of the good we are considering, can lead to a shift on the left or on the right. If this factor affecting demand increases the demand for each level of price, this means that we have a shift on the right. If, as in this case, so the example are the increase in the average level of income and increase in price of substitutes of the consider of this considered good. And when we consider factors that reduces the demand for this considered good for each level of price, this means that we can observe a shift on the left of this curve. For instance, a reduction in the level of income in the case of normal good, or an increase of in the price of a complement good can lead to this effect. Finally, we need to specify better an important topic, because what we have seen until now is that exists a negative relation between the price and the demanded quantity. This effect can be divided in two sub-effects. What is called a substitution effect, and an income effect. The substitution effect can be explained considering that if we have an increase in the price of this good, people substitute this good with other good. So this leads to a reduction in the demanded quantity. The income effect is different. This effect means that if we have an increase in the price of this good, we have also a reduction in terms of the possibility to buy and to consume good using the income available So this, in the normal case, or in the case of normal goods, is an additional effect in reducing the demanded quantity. So if we consider normal goods, so these two effects implies that if we have an increase in price, this lead to a reduction in demand, in the demanded quantity. And if we have a reduction in price, on the other hand, this lead to an increase in the demanded quantity.